Ain't no ass devil. Marcus J. Live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. Thank y'all for continuing to rock with us as we go through tonight's show, catching a little bit of heat. I don't know if heat is the right word, but a little bit of ridicule from the crew, making a little bit of fun of me for playing MC Brains. But it is what it is. I had a little fun. I guess I'm playing tonight. I guess tonight's theme is going to be some of them rap songs that kind of made you side-eye when they came out and whatnot. But you still rock with that joint in your private moments. That's what we doing tonight. You know how stepping Marcus J. Live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. Thank you to our sister Kathy for talking to us about the flight attendant stuff. But we're going to move on, and we're going to have our discussion about the N-word and what it means to some, how you feel when you hear it. Do you use it? Do you not use it? That sort of thing. Phone lines are now open. If you want to call us, number to dial is 804-402-2893. Special shout out to those folks who are checking us out on Facebook Live. It's the first time we've had Facebook Live open tonight. So thank you to you guys on Facebook Live. I'm going to introduce the usual suspects. That means the folks who are in studio with me tonight. Of course, one of the originals of Legacy Internet Radio, one of my founding brothers. You know him as Comic J Grizzy. What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? How you?
I'm doing good, man. You doing all right?
I'm doing well. I'm not even go into my personal situation, but
I'm a pick on you.
Oh my God! I'm a little bit of pain, but when the back call went out, this morning when the signal went up to come to the den, I was like, I'm gonna make it. I could be here. Yeah. I'm good. Y'all can tell by my voice. Usually I'm a little hype and amp, but it's all gravy. I'm here. I'm blessed. I heard we talking about a real good one today.
Yeah, you think we doing good today?
Yeah, we gonna do it today.
Yeah, we gonna do it together. All right. Well, it's always good to see you, and hopefully you can get through your challenge. Rather smoothly, and with a minimal amount of drama. So we good. We can make sure that you're good. So, all right, keeping the salutations moving around the room. You hear our sister join us on the 4th Monday of every single month. She is my sister and yours, the dating boo diva, Arthur Charisma. What's up, sis?
Hey, how you doing?
Outstanding. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm feeling well.
I'm glad to see you sitting across the table. I'm sure knowing you, we're going to have some interesting Diva Diary topics. Some nice
juicy stuff.
Yeah. I look forward to it. So we're going to get into that later on in the show. Of course, you hear this brother join us across multiple shows across the Legacy Internet Radio platform. He's my big brother and yours, Big Bro Joe. What's up, man?
Yo, what's good, dude?
Chilling, man. How you?
Hey, you know me, 37 cent minus taxes. Here I am.
For real. 37 cent minus taxes, man.
Yeah, I just got to get a little bit of wage there, boss.
Yeah, well, I know what that means. That means that you busy, you grinding. So it's always good to see you, brother. Always good to see you. No doubt. Of course, we got one of our brothers from All Throttle Radio walking into the room and whatnot. He's our brother Solo just popped in the room. What's going on, brother? He's doing his thing. So I'm sure at some point he'll come and say peace on the mic. I guess the Facebook Live folks can see him do his
smoothest brother legacy.
He doing his bro man thing. Like he just threw up the deuces. Ain't grabbed the mic and that. It's just like deuces and whatnot. But that's cool. And then last but not least, of course, you hear our sister join us on Saturday afternoons at 2:30. She got something to say. She is my sister from around the way.
Yes, I do have something to say.
You can say it. Can you? Maybe that. Nah, I think probably that might. Yeah, I think that one might be dead. So let's see about getting you another mic. There you go. Try that one.
Yes, I do.
There you go. There you go. There you go. My sister.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
My sister Nick.
It's your girl Nick from around the way. I'm wet. And if anybody want to know, yes, I did come in here with a shower cap on my head. And what?
This ain't 12 after dark.
You came in here wet, though.
It is raining. My bad.
So, you know.
That's what you meant. Oh, okay.
Shower cap on my head.
I got you. Hey, look, man, sisters, y'all ain't trying to get the do wet. It's all good.
Right.
You know.
It's got to last at least to Wednesday.
Till Wednesday?
Yeah, to Wednesday.
I tell you what you can do to solve that problem, right? Just get a bald head. Just get a baldy.
Like the chicken.
I was trying to help y'all brothers out and let it grow a little long.
You helped me out.
So, you know.
I like short hair.
Good.
Yeah, that's why I keep mine short.
You know what? See, that's on you.
Short hair don't
Got him.
Wait. Short hair where?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, y'all shaving off nuts now.
On my mustache.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not going metrosexual or nothing like that.
Hey, man, that's too much information for you.
Can you hear me?
Damn, he just did the
Solo all throttle radios in the building.
Did he just cut in front of?
Yeah, he just made it weird.
No, this is more important.
Oh, okay.
She's saying she's wet, but what do you think Solo is?
Yeah, he came in on a motorcycle.
On the twos.
He's soggy.
On the twos.
Yeah.
Only one ride.
Look at it. He got on the yellow outfit looking like he about to direct traffic on 295.
You came in from the rain, but
no
you look
excuse.
Yeah. All right,
he just went on the outside.
Yeah, how about that? Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J live from the Den Legacy Internet Radio. Let's get to the topic at hand in this discussion. We talked about how we were going to talk about the N-word in this segment, and just for the interest of full disclosure, the N-word is a word that I have banned on the microphone on Legacy Internet Radio. I mean, music is one thing. We can debate that another time. That's not what, a discussion that we're looking to have. I'm talking about the talk show personalities. The N-word has been banned in all of its forms and aliases. So that's initially how I feel about it. We'll talk more about why. But what sparked my interest in wanting to have a conversation about this was about a week ago. There was a guy in city government that actually referred to his colleagues publicly as the N-word. And he ended up getting, leaving his job behind it. But I found that there have been a lot of instances where certain slurs, and that's what it is, it's a slur, certain slurs have been met with a varying level of, shall we say, outrage. If you use the F word for gay people in the NBA, you might get fined 6 figures. You use the N word for black people and nobody bats an eye. And I want to talk about it. And so I'll also say in full disclosure, I've used the word, I haven't used it in many years, but I have used the word and I've used it regularly. Everybody in the room knows that I have no problem cussing. I just don't do it much on the show, but it's just sometimes where I came from, this is how we speak. And so I always viewed the N-word as just an extension of cussing, basically. So I'm going to take it around the room. I've talked enough. We'll bring it back kind of to the floor discussion. We're going to talk about the N-word. I want to start with you, Diva, as our featured guest for the night. What you think of the N-word?
Well, I kind of feel like you. I don't like the word. I feel like it has, a background that is detrimental to, our image as black people. Whether we use it or other people use it, it doesn't matter to me. It's still not a good word. And like you, I've used it before. I try not to use it now because I know that it's just not a good word, and especially if I have children or other, people listening to me and taking that and, using it themselves. So I try to stay away from the word.
We're going to come back to you. Grizz, what's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I don't like using it. I've used it in special occasions. I use it because sometimes when you run out of words to describe something, that's just you go to the lowest common denominator. I don't use it, and I never used it in my comedy act, but just in conversation. I put it this way: I use it when I don't use it when I know it's offensive to people. I try to refrain from using it if I know, especially, I use you for an example. If you say, I don't like this word, don't use it around me. I try my best not to use it. Once in a while I slip out, but that happens to the best of us. I got to rest a little bit when it comes to that word. But if I'm just chilling with another group of people and that word is used, it's not like I'm going out of my way to drop it, but it's just like it's become a part of the lexicon, so to speak, for a certain group of people. And I know where the word comes from. I know there are different meanings to the word. I know how people use the word to make it what it is that they want to come across as. So, it's like a homonym. Like, you could say it like many different variations, but depending on who's saying it, in the context of how you saying it, and the ears that's receiving it, it could go left real quick. So,
right.
I've come a long way and not using them. I don't use it around my kids. My kids don't use it, or I haven't heard them use it. If I did, I would probably correct them on it. So I've kind of evolved into like it's like a curse word. It's like it's derogatory. It's I'm trying to think of the right description, because you said you used the word earlier. Like, it's a epithet. Right. That's what it is. It's like an epithet. So, I'm just messing up the language. Hey, Joe. Yeah, Joe. Bro, y'all see Joe look at me like, bro, what'd you just say? I'm kind of delirious myself with that one. But I don't want the audience to think like I'm riding a fence on it. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, I use the word, and sometimes I use it because of a lack of coming up with another word for something that's happening in the situation. Like, if something was about to go down right now, like some type of natural disaster right now here in the den, I would be like, y'all better get on up out, something like that, which is like a carnal response, or a carnal type of way of using it. But it's different. I'm getting into something that I'm sure we'll talk about later, like the different ways people say and use the N word and ER, AR, and all that stuff. Like, I'm not judgy. I'm not judgy about black people that use the word. I'm judgy about how it's used to other, and we can discuss that. We
definitely going to talk about that. I want to get everybody's opening statement in first, but we definitely going to talk about, some folks can use it, some folks can't use it, ERA, that sort of thing. Big bro, jump in here, your initial thoughts on the word.
Well, my initial thoughts are, I have used it. Depending on my situation, I still do use it. Yes, I'm intelligent enough to understand what it means, but it depends on, as I stated, where I'm at and what's going on. If you piss me off, and you might catch me saying it a lot quicker than you would if I'm in a corporate boardroom.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If I'm in the streets, it's a little bit different. Not saying that it's right, just the way it is. I mean, I've heard it for so long. I've used it in so many contexts for so long that it's just one of those things that's hard to not use on occasion.
Yeah. No, I could dig it. I mean, that makes sense. Neek, what's your thoughts?
Pretty much the same here. I've used it. I'm not ashamed to say it. Certain situations I will use it. I try to refrain from using it. I try to find a different adjective. Okay.
Right. Or noun. Pronoun too.
I've used it.
Let me
and like Rizzy was saying, and we're going to touch on it later, depends on the word itself. If it's ER, AR, or A, or it's different variations. Different situations cause you to change the word a little bit.
That's actually where I wanted to go with it, because there's so many places to go. But the ER to AR, before we get to that, for those of you who said, I think Joe and Neat more specifically, I've used it and I still use it. And I think, Joe, you actually said, I know it's wrong, I think it's wrong, or something along those lines. Why is it wrong?
Well, the connotation of itself is very derogatory to begin with.
Right.
And it's meant to be derogatory. A lot of times.
But you black.
Yeah, but see, it's funny that you make that point. A lot of times,
tongue in cheek, of course.
Huh?
Tongue in cheek, of course.
Tongue in cheek, yeah, definitely. You make the point that I'm black, and I'm actually other. So let's get that straight first.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us are.
Most of us is
other. But like I said, and I would never go into a boardroom, which I have stood many times and become agitated with
what was going down.
What was going on, and just
Correct, right.
went into a rage and started doing that.
I've actually dropped it.
You have? Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, like
in corporate America, I've dropped it.
And you know what I'm talking about. I mean, I've been in those situations where you had to talk.
No, I've never done
If I was in the streets, it's sometimes to get your point across. People don't understand when you're being nice.
Right.
So when you do it that way, it's like, oh shit, it's about to get real.
Right.
So a lot of times when you hear that connotation, and like we said, we go back to the different endings or variations that you want to put on it. All of it begins with NIG.
Right. let me get a couple of hits in, Nick, because I want you to answer the same question. We're getting a hit from my sister Melinda's checking in. She's saying hey to the fam.
Peace,
what up?
peace.
Our brother WB is checking in. He's saying peace to the fam. Our brother Hakeem, what up, MJ and the crew? 502, baby, all day, every day. Shout out to our brother K-Dub. That's always an homage that those brothers give to each other. Cousin Terry's checking in. I think we've abused the N word just like the B word, which of course is another show. She's saying we mistakenly use it as a term of both endearment and anger. We can fight the word, but not the mentality associated with it. So far, that is
well put, Terry.
That's the comment, Sister Cuz. That's the comment of the segment so far. Go ahead and to address the same question that I asked to Joe, because you had similar answers. You use it occasionally, even though you know that you shouldn't, or at least you think that you shouldn't.
Right.
So let's talk about that. What's your thoughts on why you would use it if you think it's wrong?
Well, because of the fact that you have to make sure, or I make sure where I am when I use it and who's around me when I'm using it. So, if children are around, of course, I'm going to refrain from using the word. But in the event that somebody, takes me to the level that I don't want to be, and I use, the B word, because I can be that nice, nasty person.
Right.
If I need to get my point across and you're not understanding what I'm saying, or you're just not getting it, and I have to, put it, for the lack of better words, in street terms to you,
right,
then I have the,
Well, let me ask you this: Did
her name Neek? She could go there.
Did you?
I can go there.
Did you cuss around your children
When they were growing up?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
As teenagers, 12, 13, 14?
You're right.
Yeah.
Did you use the N word around them?
No.
So why would the F word be okay and not the N word?
Depends on where I am and what I'm using it for. Now, I did not use the F word around my children.
But wait, the F word is a noun. Bernie Mac said that specifically. It's a person, place, or a thing.
It sure is.
It's used to describe something.
That's right.
That's right.
So was the N word?
Well, then it's a person, place, or a thing. It's a noun.
Put an S on it.
Did you use the N word around your children, Joe?
They have heard it, yes.
From you?
They've heard it from me.
Okay.
That's
what I'm getting at.
But see, once again, I'm not going to sit here and delineate the fact that I use the N word. First of all, it's commonplace. It's common. I'm not saying that it's correct. So, and I'm gonna stop apologizing for that. That's it on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm gonna say is, if I'm in the street, they don't live in a bubble.
Right.
They never lived in a glass bubble where they didn't hear things. And the worst thing in the world that I believe that could happen is for parents to sit there and try to sugarcoat stuff. I mean, you've heard me sit there and listen. We've listened to F the Police, and I had my kids around me. They would never repeat it.
Right.
I think that's
what I was
key.
getting at.
But they've heard it.
But that's key. That's a very good point, big bro. First of all, shout out to our sister Laurel, who's checking us out. What's up,
Laurel.
sis? That's a very good point, Grizz, when we're talking about music, because Mama J is at an age now, at 13, she'll be 14 soon.
Man, you getting up there, bro.
Yeah, you got a son that's near 30. Don't do that.
True that.
Don't do that. But at her age, I've gotten to a point where I've gotten much more relaxed with how I speak.
Right.
I speak freely, because Big Bro and Neek were making the point that we shouldn't shelter our children.
Right. We didn't invent the word.
And like, I've played the game with Mama J. She might even be listening now. I played the game with her say shit, mama, say shit, say shit.
Oh no!
And she won't do it. She won't do it. She won't.
I
do
bet
it.
she do it when you ain't around.
Well, see, and I asked her, and because of the relationship that I have with her, she was honest with me about that answer. And I'm not going to share with people what her answer was.
Fair enough.
But she was, when I asked her that, she was honest with me about that answer. And so, because of what I know about her, I know that she all right. She's good. And so when you say you've listened to certain music, in the car, we've done it together.
We sure have.
You know what I'm saying? And so there definitely is a level of potential hypocrisy, Diva, that I want to talk about, because as someone who has put out the mandated Legacy Internet Radio, we're not going to say that word, and we're dancing around it by saying the N word, but we all know what the word is. But occasionally there might be a song that slips through that word is,
what you crazy?
is played. And I've been questioned on that, and quite frankly, as the dude who runs the station, I'm not going to answer it.
Right.
I'm just going to say,
you can pull a Russell Westbrook. I'm
going to pull a Russell Westbrook and say, I'm going to play the music because the music artistically is authentic to how this artist has chosen to put it out. Now, I'm not going to play B word, B word, B word, N word, N word, N word. You know what I'm saying? But a song where you hear the word occasionally slip through, I'm not going to screen every song. Right. You know what I mean? So in the Russell Westbrook terms, okay.
Right.
That's what it is.
My dude.
Okay. You know what I mean? But as personalities, I don't want to hear the word or any as aliases, if that makes sense. Let me get a couple of, let me get social media and Grizz, and it's coming right back to you. Eustace is checking us out and says they're going to watch Empire. Eustace, not really sure where you're going, so give me a little bit more. Give me a little bit more on that one.
I think I know where he went with that.
I want Eustace to give me I want Eustace to give me a little bit more on that one. Terry says that I have even tried to change it up. AR, ER, some even substitute other words, like the karate fighter from Japan. We know what the karate fighter from Japan, which is one of the aliases.
Ooh, Shoryuken?
Shokazuki was a...
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I was like,
that's what All Throttle does.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what All Throttle does.
Well, All Throttle needs to stop doing that.
No, we use...
No. All Throttle needs to stop doing that.
We're not using the derogatory one. We're using something totally
Well, that's the whole point of aliases. We don't use aliases. So All Throttle needs to stop doing that. And we could talk about that offline. Sometimes, and she continues, sometimes it's the mentality of the moment, the hypocrisy, the lies, and when it becomes offensive to some. This is what Terry is saying. Tavon says, you either use it or you don't. You can't be hypocritical. Hey.
Okay. I can rock with it. I'll give you an example. All right, like since we were talking about the kids, like we got a basketball court in my driveway, and the kids, the neighborhood kids come over with my kids, play. One day I'm sitting in the house, and I had the window up, and one of my sons was giving somebody the business on the court. And when you playing basketball, it's a lot of shit talking. I can say shit, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of shit talking that take place. And then I heard him drop the N-bomb.
Your son?
Yeah, my middle kid.
Okay.
So I went outside and was just like, and you don't want to embarrass him, but I had to embarrass him because I had to let him know once I heard him say it, that's not something I would accept. I do understand why he would, why he said it in the context of he out there talking crap, the dude talking crap back to him. He just dropped the N-bomb, but I heard it, and it didn't sit right with me. He knows.
Why?
Because you
use it.
Yeah, but I evolved. But
you still use it.
Was he speaking to another brother?
Yeah, speaking to another brother.
Because if you still use it, right, and you still use it.
I wanted to teach him a better example.
I got you, but follow me for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard him cuss before?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you check him on cussing?
Yes.
Okay. So now, that's consistent.
Yeah, I can't. If it's not okay with me.
Because what I was looking for is if you use the N-word and you checking your son for using it, but you don't check him for cussing.
No, I got to check him for everything that I don't want him to be like, if you're short on language to express yourself,
right,
and you on the ball, you in the driveway, posting somebody up, giving them elbows and stuff. I don't expect you to come out with Webster's dictionary for a word, but don't use that. Don't let me hear it anyway.
Right. No, that's.
And so I stressed it out to him and his friends in the driveway. Like, if you over here on this property, and y'all playing in my driveway, I don't want to hear that. Y'all can take that up at the elementary school and do that, but I don't want to hear it.
We getting a hit from Yvonne. Yvonne says that she doesn't use it, but then again, she's older now. Lessons learned. So
yeah, as I gotten older, I kind of like this stupid. I mean, it was kind of like I say Negro a lot in place of it,
right?
But when you say in place, it's like does it take away the fact that you was thinking about dropping the N-bomb? No, because
that's the whole essence of aliases,
right? Like it don't take away from.
That's the whole essence of aliases.
You mean like Nigerian?
Or the Niger River?
Well, yeah, I got you. I think really it's more about context and what you're trying to because you're either going to say it or you're not going to say it, which brings me to ER versus A.
Right.
I want to talk about that at this piece, Nick. You up first. ER versus A.
Well, just to piggyback on what Grizzy was saying, I had to check my son and his best friend one day. Unbeknownst to me, they were reciting a song.
Oh, wow.
But they were playing around, so I didn't think that they were actually reciting a song. It sounded like a conversation.
Right.
So I did the bustin' mommy move. Whoa,
What's this all about?
How old is your son at this moment?
Back then he may have been 14, 15.
Okay.
Best friend probably 15, 16.
Now, were they cussing? And the reason why I keep asking
it was a combination of the two.
The reason why I keep asking that because just kind of the way my mind works, I've always kind of classified the N-word with cussing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And you can. Yeah, I mean, I would.
You would too. Yeah. You would too.
So, like I said, unbeknownst to me, they were actually rapping a song, and I didn't know that this was a song.
Right.
And I, as a parent, made a point. I was a hip hop mom. Yeah, we in the car, we jamming, they singing, I'm singing too.
Right.
Because I wanted to make sure, and we weren't singing the radio version. We singing the, explicit.
I just let my kids do the radio version
because of the fact that I wanted to know.
They do the radio
I wanted to know what my kids were listening to. My parents did the same thing. They wanted to know what we were listening to, and I grew up listening to heavy metal, classical, rock, pop, all of that. But I had not heard the song that you
wouldn't happen to remember what it is, would you?
No.
Okay.
And I think I was so infuriated. I think I was so mad.
You call her.
He go text him and probably ask him what it was.
No, I ain't gonna do
that. He was doing it, and I was like, whoa, back up, pump your brakes. What the heck is going on in here?
Right.
And why are you referring to your boy as this? And he was like, Mom, calm down. It's a song.
Now I'm getting a hit from my brother Matt.
What's up, Matt?
My brother Matt in Jersey.
What up, Matt?
My brother Matt is white. And Matt is checking us out. He's got a pretty lengthy comment here, and unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to read all of it. But I am going to.
You like Eminem white or?
But I'm going to read. He's one of my good friends.
If he good with you, he good people.
Oh yeah, that's my man. And we went to high school together. He listened to the same music that we listen to. You know what I mean? He just happened to be white. I happen to be black. He's still my brother. And now, as we have reached our 40s, politically and socially, we disagree on a lot of stuff. But so what? Still my brother. So, but anyway, he's checking us out, and his comment is very long. It's longer than the others. I'm gonna read a lot of it because, quite frankly, ain't too many white folks checking us out. I want to know what they think.
Fair enough.
But he says N-word with the GER. And he spelled it out because he GAs later to make his point. He finds it derogatory, disgusting term that nobody should use, black, white, or otherwise. We need to bury it. However, in recent years, the last 20 actually, it has morphed into GA. GA is a word that takes on many faces, can be used as a time to word bond, togetherness, even love. Of course, it can still be used negatively and does, but words change over time. People change. Negative connotations that a word had once can vanish in the same way that words which had no bad vibes attached can one day make you want to stretch somebody. It's a phrase we use back home. You talk about knocking somebody out. I think it's entirely overused in music sometimes, almost like it's purposely being done. And he makes some references to a song. I'm gonna skip past this. This is the part that I definitely want to kind of get out here. Do I think always it's appropriate? Hell no, obviously not. Now, the big question, does my white ass use it? I'm about to upset your show, but yes, I do. I use it when talking to my brother, but never as a descriptor for a black person. It's a love thing. I know people don't like to hear that from a European American, but that's exactly what it is. That's my blood, my N-word, GA, my brother. And he's got some more here. I also know that there will be people who will never be okay with anybody other than a black person use it, or nobody at all. That's fine. That's why I only use it within those groups. Not looking to upset anybody or have people think that I'm racist. That's not the case. But those people who feel that way will never understand, and that's good too. He's got more, but I'm gonna leave.
I ain't mad at Matt.
I ain't mad at Matt either. I'm not mad at Matt either.
I ain't mad at Matt.
He gonna get mad about that.
He get a pass because you know you.
But that's not why he gets a pass from me.
He get a pass because
you know why? You know why? Because Matt to me is no different than Joe using it and you using it. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because my feelings on the word have evolved to a point where I don't want to hear nobody using it. And so my response to him, and I responded to him, and that's our conversation. I won't get into specifically what I said to him, but I made it plain that I respect that's how he felt, and I ain't tripping off of him, and I don't think that he upset the show by making the comment. I respect the comment, and I'm glad that he felt comfortable enough to say it, because real talk, it's a lot of white folks walking around using it in a negative, in their mind, a negative way. Right. Because I think a lot of times it has to do with what your thought process is, like what you thinking,
what you intend,
what your intention is. Yeah. Even though I would prefer not to hear it at all, but I think intention, Grizz, means a whole lot.
Why I want to call your boy Michael Rappaport for some reason.
Hell, don't get it twisted. If anybody thinks that Michael Rappaport not using that word,
right. He dropping that.
Yeah, Michael,
for sure.
And let me tell you, aside from Matt, Michael Rappaport might be my favorite white boy. I ain't even gonna lie.
I don't know. There's one more. The dude for Taboo. You ever seen
and Paul Walker?
Paul Walker. Oh, okay, yeah.
Paul Walker,
and Rappaport.
Matt and Eminem. Those my favorite white boys. I ain't gonna lie.
Who's your favorite?
But you know what? One of my good friends. You remember Bennett from back in the day?
Shit, I don't remember.
You would if you saw him.
Okay.
I mean, this dude was a genuine redneck.
Oh, and the guy that helped me with this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The guy that helped me with that. You know,
I rock with them all day.
Yeah. So we having a little fun. Ain't no step on Marcus J live from the Den Legacy Internet Radio. We're talking about the N-word. Why do we use it? Who uses it? All of that kind of stuff. 804-402-2893 is the number to dial if you want to be a part of the discussion. Diva, jump in. You haven't said much.
Yeah, I was just going to make a comment based on what your friend said. His name Matt.
Michael Rappaport.
Okay. I have no problem with, he's your friend or whatever, with him using it with his brother in that way with the A or whatever. But my thing is, can't you slip out and say it in other communities, in other spaces, and say it and be at risk of
we gotta be high.
You might get we
gotta be sharing the blunt.
The reality is, and then let's bring this to the table. You know what I mean? I want to kind of steer the conversation back to here, because Eazy-E in a song, and I can't remember which song it was, but I remember the line. It was on the N-Words for Life record.
Right.
And he said, N-word say N-word cool. White person say N-word not cool. And of course he said it melodically in a rap way, with obviously that word peppered in that line. But the point was, black folk can say it, white folk can't say it. I want to talk about that. Okay. Because everybody, as I was reading that, except for Joe, had this look on their face about Matt.
Like, nah.
And Joe didn't, because I guess maybe you understood it. Grizz, you gave him a pass because he's my boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's an important thing to talk about. It's an important thing to talk about because I know realistically we got some white folk that's listening right now. So y'all need to know, you know, some of your black friends, you can't say it. You, as Matt said, you might get stretched.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about why it's not cool for them to say it, but it's cool for us to say it. That's what I want to talk about at this part of the conversation.
All right, well, I don't say, my point of view is that it's not cool for us to say it, but for black people to say it, we understand the context, we understand the historical reference, we understand that, first of all, it wasn't our word. You know, when we got shipped over here, nobody knew what the N-word was. That N-word was thrown upon us by the slaver and was like, this is your nickname now. Instead of Toby, you know, you're going to be the N-word. So just on that alone, you can't, no Caucasian, European, American, I don't care how cool you is, unless I don't even think if we sharing a blunt. You ain't saying in front of me. And you going to say, well, you say it to your homeboy. But that between me and my homeboy, that's an A-B conversation. You need to see yourself out of it. I'm gonna be a double. That's me.
Let me get these comments.
I got that double standard. You ain't gonna let that rock.
No, I got you. It's fair because you know, double standard for me is I'll play a song, but I won't say the word. You know what I'm saying? So and I know that there are folks that'll find that contradictory, and that's fine. We had that discussion, but I understand it because as an individual, you have the right to have your feeling about whatever. Let me get some of these comments in. Laurel says, I gotta say that the N-word was forbidden in her home because we suffered derogatory words in her culture, and it appalls her when some of her white friends use the word loosely. Just can't wrap her head around it. It infuriates her.
Loosely.
Well, you know, yeah.
Yeah, you need to check them off top.
Terry says, how would the panel feel if you witnessed a non-black screaming or referring to their kid as the N-word? Would it be funny or offensive? I haven't seen it, but I wouldn't be shocked by it because this particular generation, Terry, don't view the word quite like, you know, other folks. I was having this conversation with my brother Warren Ballantyne earlier today, and we were talking about this topic, and I told him that we were going to be doing this subject, and I had told him that people our age, the same age as we are, 40s, and I told him that people our age are probably the last generation, with all due respect to the younger folks, that had a little bit of sense. You know what I'm saying? And when I say got a little bit of sense, hold on a second, call. I see you there. Okay. When I say a little bit of sense, what I mean by that is, you know, everybody born on January 1st, 1980, and after that, they seem to be a little bit different from us. I guess that's the Gen Xers. We're the Gen Xers, right? Which one are we? We're Gen X, so they're millennials. They're the millennials, and it's just a little bit different. You know, it's hard to describe, and I'm gonna defer to the caller here, and then I'm gonna come back to my point. Right. I don't want to have the caller wait. Caller, you on the live line? You on Ain't No Hashtag with Marcus J. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Marcus, it's Laurel.
Hey, what's up, Laurel?
I want to clarify my statement when I say my friends.
Okay.
Okay, because I don't have any friends that would use that word. And of course, my dog is barking right now. So I'm just going to grab him real quick. But it always appalls me. I mean, I was brought up that we don't say any derogatory words about anybody.
Okay.
But I couldn't even get that word out of my mouth if I tried.
Right.
So when I hear somebody say something, when I hear a white person say it, it's always in a derogatory way, and it usually shocks me and surprises me because I don't expect it.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think, you know, and just just in interest of full disclosure, you're a white person, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously I know that, but I want the listeners
to know. I was when I got up this morning.
You haven't been to the tanning bed yet. So do you think that it's a generational thing with regards to white people? Because I have found that young black people and young white people, kind of like what Matt said earlier, are using the word a little bit more freely amongst each other. And the black kids are not given the side eye of offense, of being offended, quite like someone who's in their 40s would. You know what I mean? What's your thoughts on that?
I would agree with you because I'm going to be 62 this week.
Wow. Okay.
So I was around during the civil rights movement, and I just think everything's a lot freer now. I mean, I just had an issue last night, with just how people communicate with each other.
Right.
I think that they got to pass on it's okay to communicate this way, and I don't understand why that's okay. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
It's just not the way I was raised. So I can't identify with it, but I know the younger generation can, and it's not a big deal to them. For me, it's a big deal.
No, I can dig it. I respect that. Joe, you wanna?
No.
Okay.
Laurel's right.
No, I agree with you, Laurel. Thank you for listening, sis. We appreciate
All
you.
right. All right, I'm
peace.
learning something tonight, so.
Well, we appreciate you.
Happy birthday to you.
Absolutely, happy birthday. I'll hit you up on your birthday.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Take it easy. And have Marcus J live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. She always brings a fun and fair perspective. Let me get a couple more comments, Joe, before you jump in here. Terry says, does substituting the word makes the connotation, does substituting the word make the connotation less offensive? And word Negro, or even the Japanese karate fighter. We know what it means, but does it make it any better? That's a good question, because that's kind of what I was alluding to. It's more about what your thought process is, what your connotation is. Ivana, still listening, says the ER, I believe, is different than GA for older generation because of how it was bestowed upon us in years past. I think that kind of alludes to what I was saying earlier about how generationally it's just a little bit different, because honestly, the only folks that I can even picture or imagine going all ER on you is some racist white dude who's trying to hurt you, saying it quite that way. Because when we as black folk use it, even when we're using it, well, black folk use it as a term of endearment, allegedly. I don't know too many black folks that could say that to other black folks and trying to be hurtful, if you know what I'm saying. It just culturally, because the easy response is, well, you want to, you know what I'm saying? So it just been my experience. It's always GA, black person to black person. But having said that, Joe, pick up here, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a couple of things I was looking at. I went to the dictionary on them. And I went to dictionary.com, and it pretty much said the term with the ER is now probably the most offensive word in English, a contemptuous term used to refer to a black person, a contemptuous term used to refer to any person, not just racially or ethnic origin, regarded as contemptible, inferior, or ignorant. It's just funny to me because we use the word, but there are a lot of other words that we don't use over here that they use in different countries. I mean, if you go to Japan and they call you a gaijin, that is the same as being called the N-word here.
Like calling a white person a gringo in Mexico.
or a kafir in Africa.
Yeah.
I mean, all types of words are being used to describe how people are, and it's just an inferior way of being able to put a person down.
Right.
I mean, we say the F word all the time. I can say you, and you can say F you, and you mother effer. And I'm like, well, yeah, I am, because that's how I got some your kids. But, it's just stuff like that you sit there and say. I agree with Matt 100%. The reason Matt get a pass with me is you keep it real.
Matt keeps it real.
If you keep it real, it's real. I don't believe that. And just like you said, if Matt was to get pissed off and come out his face wrong, and we standing here together, he might get chin checked. But he knows this already.
Which is the reason why he said what he said.
Exactly. Right. But that was the whole reason.
If we don't know him, then we'll have more sensitivity to.
No, I don't got no sensitivity.
Saying
but see, that's the question that I was asking before. That goes back to the question that I was asking before, because if we got an issue with the word. And Grizzly, you stated you made it plain with regards to that and your logic behind white folks and how that word, evolved through etymology. You made sense with it, but I disagree with it. I'll make that point in a minute. The point I want to make now is when we look at us as people, just us as people, we're about the most disrespected lot of people ever. And we allow ourselves to continue to be disrespected by perpetuating this word. Give you an example. NWA and groups like them. NWA actually named their group with the word in it, right? And most of our favorite rap songs from our youth, from the 80s and 90s, and obviously now, have that word in it, right? We know this, right?
Yes.
In 1995, Michael Jackson had a song called "They Don't Really Care About Us," and in this song, there's a line that says, "Jew me, sue me, everybody do me, kick me,
my bad.
Don't you black and white me." Thank you, Grizzy. Appreciate you.
I was just getting to my MJ.
But the reason why I bring that up is because there was such an outrage over that one line. If you listen to the song, you can argue that his connotation was supportive of the Jewish community. But the mere utterance of that word,
I did it. I was like,
the mere utterance of that word got him in so much trouble that every single record that came out after it, unless you got one of the original prints, which I got,
they cut it out.
It's cut out. It's cut out. And if you listen to Ice Cube's song, actually no, if you listen to Straight Up Menace by MC8, Gia, that guy. There's a piece in there where they black out jab, just the word jab, referring to Japanese. And there's another Ice Cube song where they bleep out, when he's talking about Koreans. So my point is, if the mere utterance of these other communities, one quick word, got to get blacked out. What about Tupac's song? Tupac got a song, I think it's How Do You Want It? I think it's How You Want It, where they bleep out, a reference to another community. But that same song got 2 or 3 N-words in it.
But you're speaking on the radio. That's semantics.
I'm actually speaking of the original cuts, and the reason why I'm speaking of the original cuts because I just named Ice Cube, NWA, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson got a song with Biggie where Biggie drops the N-word in the song, so we can say the N-word. We can say that.
They let us.
It's okay. We can say that, but we can't use the K-word. Kobe got fined $100,000 for using the F-word. You know what I'm saying? So we continue to perpetuate the disrespect of ourselves while watching other people protect their communities all the way down to words.
Right.
What are we supposed to say to our children?
I see where you're going with it.
Go ahead, Diva.
Okay, let's say they do censor the N-word out of all the music. Then we got an uproar. The black community is going to be upset because you're censoring our music.
Well, as you mad when they censored Huck Finn for using the N-word when they when they got mad with Django and it was Quentin Tarantino used the word 132 times? Is you mad now?
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up because my thing was historically. Well, historically, I think we have to be accurate because during the times that Django was set, they was using the word regularly.
Exactly.
Huckleberry Finn was written by Samuel Clemens, pen name Mark Twain, with that word in it. So if you remove the word from Huckleberry Finn,
you remove the pain and the context that it was written in.
And 100 years from now, you're going to have people not even realizing how bad it was.
Exactly.
True.
You got the white dude playing Michael Jackson in the movie.
Yeah.
Because Michael lightened his skin, but at the end of the day, he was still a black man. You know what I'm saying? This is the reason why it's important. My opinion.
No, you're right.
One opinion, it doesn't matter. My opinion don't matter.
You make a valid point.
Everybody gets upset and gets in an uproar. I mean, words, they say words hurt. Yes, they do. We know the connotation of the word. Yes, we do. I'm not willing to sit here and fight everybody for saying it because if we do, we'll be fighting all day long. I mean, I got y'all. I'm just not going to do that. I'm like, yo, whatever. If that's what you feel, son, guess what? That's what you feel. But I can bust your ass if that's what I feel.
True. Right. No, I can dig it.
A good example would be, I don't know, and I guess I spent enough years on this earth now, and I've but I've watched, seen, and heard a lot of things, is And I'm a big fan of Archie Bunker and All in the Family.
So am I.
So
I can watch it every day.
Watch it every day.
I can watch it every day.
I don't know why that TV show is so good to me, but anyway, I don't know when the last time you heard the word Oriental.
They used to use it on that show.
They used to use that a lot.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm glad you brought that up because everybody in the 70s used the N-word except Archie Bunker. I never heard him use that word.
But my point is to piggyback off your point is if we don't put pressure on these entertainment companies and ourselves or hold our communities accountable for using the word, hopefully 2-3 generations from now, that the N-word will become what Oriental is to Asians.
Like you
don't hear nobody say Oriental.
And they'll correct you. And they'll say Oriental is a rug.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that one.
Or what is it? Samoan and want my kids to play football with a Samoan kid, and I've asked, what is he? Yeah, I knew he was a brother. Go ahead. I'm going.
Go ahead, jump in, Solo.
Now you said Archie Bunker didn't use the word.
I don't remember hearing him use it.
Not on that.
He did.
He did.
In the episode, he did.
If he did, then I'll stand corrected.
Yeah, he did.
But
I remember that one.
He did when George came over.
Yeah.
When George came over, George said, he said,
oh yeah. He sure did. He sure did. I do remember.
Norman Lear was the guy who wrote the show.
I do remember that. Thank you, Solo. Thank you. I do remember that.
But they was going back and forth on racial epithets. And,
That's right.
He did use it, but in that context, of course. But my point is that if we kind of, it probably won't be in our lifetime. It probably won't be in our kids' lifetimes. But
I don't think we'll ever go through a period where we won't be using it. I want to address something you said, Joe, when you talked about how you just ain't going to be having that fight all the time. It's not worth it. And I tend to agree with you. I've grown out of. Here at Legacy Internetradio is one thing because this is an area that I do have a little bit of domain over. But out in the street or amongst other folks and other conversations, like when something's new to you, you want to share it with everybody. You know what I mean? Like when I stopped eating pork, I was like, man, you ain't supposed to eat the pig, man. It's a nasty animal. I had to tell everybody I was around.
We know.
I had to tell everybody.
It was on a crusade.
But you're on a crusade when something's new to you. But eventually you get to a point where you realize that some fights are not worth fighting. Mm-hmm. This is a fight that I'm going to fight in my space and around the folks who I feel like I got a little bit of influence on because I feel like I can come in an area of, intellect or a social cause. And if folks choose to continue using it, hey man, you do what you want to do.
It's a free freaking country.
People might not want to hear me say certain things.
Right.
And then it's up to me if I'm going to comply with them in our social relationships.
Since I've been a part of Legacy Internet Radio, I think I've cut the N-word down minus 125%. Considering I was at 200% before, I still use it 75% of the time. And what's so weird is I don't use it in none of my act. Like it's just like it would throw me off so much to go there.
Yeah, because then you start to think about it.
I'm just overly thinking like, should I drop the N-bomb here?
Man.
Like, nah, I can't do it. But it's got to be something real bad. Like 9/11 was like, stuff like crazy stuff happens. I'm like, some of these wilding, it's just got to be
and
rare.
You know what? What's funny that you just made that statement, but you weren't even thinking about black folk. When
no,
you said
I was thinking about
thinking
about the people who committed the actual acts. Like, these.
So in that term, you were thinking of it in the Webster's term as a racial epithet of an ignorant person.
Yeah, they just bugging, and that's what I equated to like ignorant.
I think that's a good point. That's a very good point that you picked up on, Joe, because I think a lot of people now use it interchangeably from just black people.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like what Matt was talking about. And I'm pretty sure that there's some young white folk who have grown up in the hip hop culture used to speaking a certain kind of way, probably use that word amongst themselves without a black person in sight.
Nowhere around.
Nowhere around. But their granddaddy will look at us and GER us to death.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? And
but what's funny is I've heard people say, yeah, my grandparents or great-grandparents have used it in a negative connotation, and I've corrected them.
All right.
People from other races, I've corrected them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, kudos to you.
Yeah.
Because, and the way I put it to my kids, the same way you don't want to refer to our Caucasian people as crackers.
Right.
The same way you don't want to refer to our Asian people as Orientals.
Right.
The same way you don't want some man or some other woman to call you as a woman the C word, and we all know what that C word is, 4 letters.
Crazy? Yeah.
No, that's 5 letters.
It's 4 letters, and it ends with a T.
But the crazy go with it, though.
Yeah.
But
I got you.
And that is a very, very hurtful word for a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never used that word.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's terrible.
Yeah, I don't like that word either.
But when you go to Britain, it's used loosely.
Yeah, they say that left and right.
Yeah, but you know what you smoke in Britain? You smoke a fag. So,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So it depends. But
it depends on where you are.
But we know in America, you probably shouldn't say either of those two words.
Exactly.
You can say bolus.
I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means.
Oh, really?
Tell me. Yeah, tell me offline. I guess the last piece that I want to get to in this segment before we move on to the Diva Diaries is the fact that we do, Grizzy and Joe both alluded to how, I use the word from time to time. It's not that serious. I ain't fighting, whatever. But if a white dude uses it, it's a problem. And every time I kind of bring that up, we kind of move into a different direction.
Okay.
I want to kind of, this will be the last piece before we move on, but I want to go right to the heart of that. Why do we trip? You kind of alluded to it, Grizz, in your piece. So I want Joe to jump in here, now, and then if you want to kind of piggyback on him, why is it okay for a black dude, you in the cookout and y'all kicking it, but if a white dude at that same cookout, you hear the record skip, you know what I'm saying? And it's just your opinion.
Yo, it's funny that you made that, because you know what? The very first thing I jumped to when you said that was Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan.
Yes.
When he said, "Mod," and everybody looked at him like, no, dog, you can't be saying that around here.
Right.
And I mean, I guess the reason that, most people would get upset by a Caucasian, a white person saying it is because you think about, you flash back instantly to the fact on what is he calling you? Is he saying it? He's saying it out of being nasty, being hurtful, being evil. That's the reason that you don't want to hear it coming from their mouths. Now, you can get the same word coming from a brother and he's pissed off at you about to pull a gun out, and you sitting there like, oh, well, that's cultural. We about to get this in. But you hear from
just like a dude taking his glasses off.
Yeah, that's like a dude, yeah. I mean, but that's like street stuff to us,
Right.
I mean, if you get ready to get into a fight and they take their glasses off and start pulling their shirt off, first thing you do is steal them before they get it off.
You know what it is.
You know what it is.
Right.
You don't quite always know where it comes from when it comes from a white person. You don't know if in the back of their mind, is he saying, you know what, you are inferior, you little stupid so-and-so and so.
Right.
Or are they trying to be slick and act, quote unquote, air quotes, like they don't know what's really going on. So you always going to have that bit of antsiness about you when it comes to somebody of a different culture calling you that N-word.
I can dig it. I respect that. And, I'll just take the last word so we can move on. It's just, for me, I just choose historically, out of respect for history, out of respect for what the original intent of the word is, and just I guess we should kind of speak a little bit about the history of it. Of course, when the Spaniards got to Africa, they used the word negro because that's what black means in Spanish, and that's what it looked like to them. And of course, over time, it evolved to the word that we know of now. One other last piece of history. You hear some black folks say, "Well, there's no problem with the word; it means king." Well, negus actually does mean king. Negus. It means king. But that ain't what y'all saying. So cut the bullshit. Ain't no hashtag on Marcus J live from the den. Legacy Internet Radio. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we got her, the dating pool diva. We getting ready to get into some Diva Diaries. And I'm pretty sure that she going to get us all riled up. I'm Marcus J. He's Jay Grizzy. She's the dating pool diva. He's solo. He's Big Bro Joe. And that's our sister Nick from around the way. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J. Y'all rocking with us. We rolling with y'all. Be back in a few, y'all. Stay with us.
Hey, this is Warren Ballantyne, the number one truth writer in America, and I'm listening to my man, my brother, Marcus J, right here on Legacy Internet Radio.
Holistic care for the mind, body, and spirit. Free Spirit Enterprises, LLC is a parent company for Organic Creations, Jewelry by Design, Miller Publishing, and Consultation Services. Organic Creations offers you the best in natural, homemade skin and hair care products. Jewelry by Design allows you, the customer, to design your own jewelry as it is custom made just for you. Thinking of self-publishing a book or novel? Check out Miller Publishing and Consultation Services. Free Spirit Enterprises is where holistic care meets mind, body, and spirit. Visit us at freespiritenterprisesco.biz. That's freespiritenterprisesco.biz. Or you can call 804-252-6562. Like us on Facebook under Free Spirit Enterprises, LLC.